So this is our, I guess, our intro, our very belated intro to Tiki A Go-Go 2025. We were there. We did not film anything that was like, I don't know, an intro.
I think we were just filming and taking pictures.
Yep. We didn't actually do any sort of vlog. It's not really a, here's how it is. And you can definitely tell that we are from Southern California because of the clips we used. Very SoCal biased, but it was pretty fun anyways. Yeah, so here, enjoy a few random clips from Tiki A Go-Go 2025. And also maybe check it out in the future. They do a good job. So, yeah.
Share covering the entryway, and now instead of a netting there are these glass panels that they could open and close, and that kept, when it rained they could close those glass panels and they could keep serving people. Otherwise they had to move people to tables that they didn't have because they were so busy, and so it kept them from disrupting some people's dinner service to have those panels. Here's the original doors. The front doors from the Maikai with the Cannibal Trio, this mahogany doors with Cannibal Trio here, the Maikai spelled out. And this was the only photo op you had. Cameras were not allowed in the Maikai. So there are a few pictures of people at the door. The reason they didn't allow people to take pictures inside is because there were a lot of men there who were with people who were not their wives. And so they didn't want that broadcast. Our Molokai girls for the evening. And this is the original Molokai bar. It's more tropical. It's got that same, Polynesian theming with thatch and war clubs and sarong-clad serving girls. So as you enter the Maikai, you've got the wishing well here, which Mario Liquidini's son demanded. Well, he didn't demand it. He said, "Oh, everything looks great, except where's the wishing well?" I was like, "Oh, well, we put it in here." And to the left will be the Molokai bar. This is the original Molokai bar with this elaborate paint scheme on the exterior and the interior, which Tommy discovered as he was renovating.
So where to now, sir?
The ballroom.
What's in the ballroom?
Short break.
Ah, okay. Yes, somewhere.
And then the other one is
What you got there?
hey, I don't know. Go get the signs, but they look good. This one is good. Oh, they're both really good.
He's a nice guy. He invited when we went to Tacoma once.
We're on the board.
Hey!
Time for another class.
Yeah.
Matt got the coveted event mug.
This smaller than all the last years.
And do you want to explain all the spots?
Spotty spotty bubbo, spotty dee 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 bow.
Of all the days to not be given a chair, this is the day. I don't know how your last night was, but mine was a little bit rough. I'm really excited to talk about the early days of the Tiki resurgence, the second wave. If you don't know who I am, my name is Spike Marble. I've been in and around the Tiki scene since like the late 90s. I started out with a band called the Smokin' Menahoonies, and then I do now have a band called the Hula Girls. Yes, thank you. He said he's going to embellish and add on, not critique, so we'll see how that goes. Here's a little bit of history about the Tiki scene before I came into it. And I sat in symposiums just like this one, all about the first wave of Tiki. So, here are a few of the people who started it. There's Otto von Stroheim with some very questionable facial hair, and Baby Doe. And then Sven there, is that at the Tikis? At the Tikis. So they were allowed to come to the Tikis after it closed and purchase a bunch of the Tikis.
Sven, you're so handsome.
I know, look how young and sexy he is back then.
No glasses.
No glasses. So Bosco was the first to produce new Tiki mugs since like the 60s or 70s probably. At that same time in 1996, Otto suggested to a guy named Josh Egel that he should have his own gallery show of Tiki art. And as a very young shag, that was at the Corpora Mason Gallery in Los Angeles. And this is pre-internet. And I know most of us are probably around my age or older, aside from a few in the front row here. But it's probably hard to imagine a life before the internet, and things were dramatically different back then. And the only way that you could really find out about this stuff at that time was Tiki News. And that was a fanzine that Otto was putting out. And I think I came across this at Tower Records. And I was just like drawn to the artwork, or the photos on the front. It was just so mysterious back then. And like I can't tell you guys enough that Tiki didn't exist back then. It's just people didn't know about it. It was like it was a forgotten thing. And here is my version of the second revival of the Tiki scene. Okay, well, if you think that one's embarrassing, the next one is really embarrassing. So, oh my God. Sven has been very impactful in my life, and I think on a lot of our lives.
Sorry.
Modern Tiki mugs didn't exist. It still blows my mind that there was an era that I lived through, that we lived through, that was just like so radically different than what it is now. You want to see the first 4 mugs? And oh, thank you. And when you like run to this table to buy these 4, you can be the judge. And the funniest thing too is that Holden has those all tattooed on him. And I was like I get the significance, and that was really cool back then. You didn't see that stuff. Yeah, Swanky's up here saying that $15 at the time was outrageous to spend on a Tiki mug, and that was like me too. I was like, $3? I'm gonna spend $3 on a Tiki mug? Dude, I wish those days were back. Knew about it or you didn't. There wasn't a whole lot of marketing for this kind of thing. But in 2001, Tiki Oasis was born. But it wasn't like the giant music culture festival that it is now, or pinups or anything. In fact, like when I was there, I was still the youngest person there. It's just, every time I have a conversation about Tiki with anybody, I go, how do we get younger people into this? Because everybody is still about my age or older. And it's just, it keeps shifting up and eventually, down. Yeah, down, yeah. But a year later on the East Coast in Atlanta, the Hookula started. So the Hukilau actually started in Atlanta and then moved to Florida. And Swanky, you ran that, right, with your girlfriend at the time? Yeah, Christy?
It happened really because of Teaserama in New Orleans.
He's saying that it actually really happened because of Teaserama in New Orleans, which is like a burlesque festival, right?
Yeah, the Otto and Baby Doe did that, and that's where we met them.
Okay.
And
So he met Otto and Baby Doe from Tiki Oasis at that, and then we were like, yeah, I guess we could do like an East Coast version.
Surf music. Probably one of the most misconstrued genres or subgenres ever in the rock and roll world. It has gotten so completely mixed up, turned around, spat out the other side. Definitions, left and right, everyone with their own definition. Everybody thinks they know what it is. Everybody wants to rewrite history or not study history at all and determine what they think surf music is. However, there are tried and true facts. The facts don't lie. History happened. People, places, things, events, the sort of zeitgeist of the world, events happening, historical context. It all began in 1956. A cute young 15-year-old gal from Brentwood, California says, you know what? I'm gonna head up the coast to Surfrider Beach in Malibu, just north of the pier. That's where all these guys are gathering and surfing. All the real surfers are going to Surfrider Beach in Malibu. I'm gonna head up there, and by God, I'm gonna learn how to surf. So you have stuff like we previously saw. You know, you have your Dwayne Eddy, you have your Link Ray, you got your Johnny and the Hurricanes, the Virtues. This stuff is being played on these little portable transistor radios that these guys have on the beach. So they're getting more and more used to hearing instrumental music, specifically guitar-based instrumental music. Now what hits this home even more, it's not necessarily these kinds of rock and roll songs, but they would play jazz at the screenings of these movies, okay? So the whole situation with these indie movies was so low budget that basically they would rent out like high school gymnasiums and places like that where they could get super cheap and then watch the movies. And primarily the kids were all hanging out there, so they got the kids and they were watching the surf movies. They would actually play jazz records, other jazz records, famous jazz records while the movies were going. Until eventually they actually started putting them out, right? So here's two, look at two East Coaster, Polish and Lebanese parents. 1954, his dad gets a job at Hughes Aircraft in El Segundo. Whole family moves out. He instantly connects with the terrain, with Southern California, with the beach. El Segundo's a beach town, it's right on the beach. Thank you.